Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. So, my recent DIY was revamping this old trunk. I had a visit to my mom's place last month. I found this old and rusty trunk of my grandma. I really didn't want it to be dumped, so I decided to give it a makeover. So, without further ado, let's get started. I used fine grit sandpaper, the number 220, to get rid of the rust and smooth out the surface, but it was quite a job. After sanding, I wiped it down with a wet cloth and let it dry for a few hours. Next, I used metal primer. I diluted with turpentine oil and applied one coat all over. This step is very important to make the steel or iron rust free and long lasting. For the design part, I decided to highlight the embossed stripes which were already there instead of creating a whole new design. Since I was using two colors of enamel paint, I masked the embossed areas with a masking tape. One thing that I couldn't record was attaching the wooden legs. I got it done by a local carpenter. You can order these online and attach yourself if you have a drilling machine at home. I'll share the link in the description. Now, the first color I used was a mix of smoke grey and a little blue to make a teal bluish shade. I started applying my first coat and then a second coat for a better finish. Then I used smoke grey with dry brush technique to add vertical and horizontal strokes. This gives a very nice antique texture. I did it all around. Make sure to let it dry between each coat about 5 to 6 hours. Next, I used wood primer on the wooden legs because I had bought them from a local market and they were unpolished. Now it's time for the second color on the embossed areas. I removed the masking tape from the embossed stripes and applied new masking tape to protect the blue areas. The second color I used was golden yellow enamel paint. This color wasn't too bright or intense, so I had to do 3 coats. Here's how it looked after both colors were done. Next, I painted the wooden legs with burnt sienna or brown acrylic paint. If you get polished legs online, you can skip this step. I had to paint them as I got mine raw. I also added dark brown dry brush strokes for a wooden-like texture. I wanted to add some extra details without making it too flashy, so I chose this simple design. Using a ruler and a sketch pen, I drew these geometric designs. To highlight these patterns, I used Fevicryl air dry clay. I mixed the hardener and resin parts well and then started sticking the pieces on the design one by one using the glue. This step required patience but added a beautiful 3D effect to the trunk. Then I used a sharp object to make the patterns on the wet clay. These patterns made the design stand out even more. I let it dry for a few hours, then painted the patterns with the black acrylic paint. Don't worry about the perfect coverage because we'll add gold paint later. One coat should be enough. This base layer will set the stage for our final detail touches with the gold paint. The shapes looked a bit empty, so I painted them with the golden yellow enamel paint with a small flat brush. I also painted the joints and handles of the trunk with a single coat of acrylic black. This black base will provide a strong contrast that enhances the shine and depth of the gold metallic paint we are going to do next. Once the black paint dried, I mixed Fevicryl pearl gold and antique gold powder to get a very nice antique gold shade. You can also mix the powder with gel medium too. I've mentioned the alternatives in description. I covered all the black areas with this gold mixture. Be precise and cover all the white spots this time. All this while, when I was painting on the trunk, I couldn't shake the feeling that my grandma, if she was here, would have loved to see it. It was a bittersweet moment, but it made the project even more meaningful. It was as if she was right beside me, guiding through the process and loving it. By the way, to protect the enamel paint, you have to use newspapers to avoid any type of smudges. For the final touch, I used a gold mixture on the embossed stripes, which were painted yellow earlier. Applying it with the dry brush strokes for a metallic look, I used the hard part of a scrub to scrape it throughout for textured and distressed effect. And finally, I varnished all the acrylic painting areas with a little birdie glossy varnish, applying 2 coats for more durability. Covered the handles and the wooden legs that I had painted with the acrylic paint. And this step can be skipped if you are purchasing your wooden legs from Amazon or some other portal online. And here's the final result. It really adds a touch of elegance to the living room. You can store anything inside as you wish. And I even added a cushion mattress on top to turn it to a seating area. This DIY project gave me so much joy while doing it. Try it out yourself and let me know in the comments how it went. And don't forget to subscribe for more such DIYs. Thanks for watching. Take care.